Time to talk about indicator species. Now in this little creek, there's lots of different indicator species, but I'm going to show you a few right now. It's been raining, and you can see the stream is flowing pretty fast, okay? This is a young willow tree, okay, growing right here in the middle of the creek. Willow trees like water, lots of water. This is a young cottonwood tree right here, growing in the middle of this creek. Now, this creek is usually not flowing this much, but we know that cottonwoods grow around water. Always, they love water. So a lot of times we can tell when we think about the world like a biologist, when we kind of put aside the screens, the TVs, and the he said, she said, and that sort of thing. I'm looking for fossils. And those things that distract us from the living world, when we put those things aside and think about a biologist, a lot of times we know a lot. There's a lot of things that you take for granted, like you've probably seen cottonwood trees somewhere where there's lots of water, okay? You've probably seen willow trees, and you may not have thought, you know, I always see those around water. But the truth is, those species are adapted to these environments through evolution, and so they become so adapted that we know as soon as we see them, they indicate the presence of an entire system. They have to have a specific set of abiotic factors in order to grow. So that set of abiotic factors, there's loads of other things that are evolved to it. And so wherever you find willow and cottonwood trees, I know there's a riparian or creek ecosystem nearby, and I can start looking for other things in that creek ecosystem, certain birds that are adapted to live here, certain fish that are adapted to live here, things like that. I can start looking for the rest of the ecosystem when you find clues. An indicator species is a species that is so linked to a particular ecosystem that how do you can know that ecosystem is right and functioning properly when you find the presence of those species. How do you know an ecosystem's gone bad? You lost the indicator species. How do you know you as a biologist are fixing the ecosystem and doing it right? Those species can survive, and they'll stay and start to propagate and survive and reproduce. So that is the measure. How do you measure whether or not you're doing your biology right? A lot of times it's indicator species.